Shalom, shalom, it's your brother Kazak Yah. I want to come back again. This is, I think, part 4. And we told you in part 1 that African American does not define who you are as a person. It's a whole continent. Okay. We went in part 2 and we dealt a little more. We went into a little more detail about how man was created, and man came as a result of Adam and through his son Noah, who was the father of all the sons, all mankind on the face of the earth. In part 3, we got a little more detail. We got involved into the ethnic of the sons of Noah, and then we dealt with the definition according to Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary of who Ham was, the father of the dark races of people. And now we're at the point now where we're going to get a little further and identify, because Zondervan told us that Ham was not the father of the Negroes, which left us with the dilemma as far as to, okay, so where did the Negroes come from, right? Okay, so they didn't come from Japheth, which is the father of the Europeans. They didn't come from Ham, which is the father of the dark races of people. So where did they come from? Okay, now, but before I get to that particular segment, I want to just kind of piece some things here that kind of lead us somewhere to where we're going, right? Now, so Abraham is where we begin to see some prophecies pertaining to his seed. And the prophecies that is given to Abraham is going to connect us to who the Negroes really are. Okay, so now, first thing I want to point out is that in Genesis chapter 15, the Most High, after Abraham, I'm going to skip through a whole lot of reading. You can read on your own personal time. I want to go to 15, but before I go to 15, I want to show you something. Okay. In chapter 12, the Most High told Abraham, he says, I will make you a great nation. This is verse 2. And I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing, right? I will bless them that bless you, and curse them that curse you, and in these shall the families of the earth be blessed. Now, moving right along. So Abraham, right, departed as Yahweh had spoken unto him. And Lot went with him, and Abraham was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. So Abraham was an old man, 75 years old when he left his family, right? You can read in the pseudepigrapha book, the Apocalypse of Abraham, the book of Jubilees, to tell you that Abraham's father and his brothers and sisters, they were all pagan worshipers. And he challenged them on their worshiping idols that they formed and created. Just like today, we got people who are worshiping idols that they created, right? It's time to put those idols down. It's time to burn those idols, destroy those idols, and serve the true and living Yah, right? Okay, let's get back. So Abraham departed as Yah had spoken unto him. He was 75 years old. Abraham took Abram, I should say, because in this particular point, his name was Abram at the point in time, took Sarai, his wife, and Lot, his brother's son, and their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan. And into the land of Canaan they came. So now, just a little learning something on the way of learning something. Abraham, when he went into the land, he took what he had. So Abraham didn't go nowhere trying to get rich. He was already rich. Now, once again, let's be clear, because Abraham went into the land as Zondervan so depicted and pointed out to us. He went into the land that was called Canaan, who was the son of Ham, the father of the dark races of people. So now, but by just simplicity and by just read what we read, when Abraham went to Canaan, who did he see? Europeans, Indians, Asians, or people of color, quote unquote, black people, right? So when he went to Canaan, he saw black people, right, in the land of Canaan. Simplicity now. Don't get upset, brother. You preaching a racist, you get all sensitive when truth comes out. Okay? Truth is the important issue right now, not race. I'm not a racist. I don't care whether you white, black, red, green, or purple. Truth is what matters to me. When Abraham went into Canaan, he saw people who were of the dark races of people, according to Zondervan, the anointed brother Zondervan. Okay? All right. Let's move on. So Abraham, verse 6, passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, unto the place of Moriah, and the Canaanite was then in the land. Verse 7, Yah appeared unto him, Abraham, and said unto thy seed, listen, watch this now, will I give this land? And there builded he an altar unto Yah, who appeared unto him. So when Abraham went into Canaan land, where the dark races of people were already living there, the Most High said, this the land I'm going to give to you. The land where the dark races, the black people are living, I'm going to give you this land. Whew. That's heavy. Is that heavy or what? So, don't be mad, right? Just be glad, because truth is coming out. Canaan is the father of the dark races of people, and the Most High told Abraham, I'm going to give you the land where these dark races of people live. Think about it. So he said, all the land. Watch what he says here. He said, I will give this land, verse 7, and there he built an altar, and Yahweh, who appeared unto him. And he removed from there into the mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Hai on the east. And there he built an altar unto Yahweh, and called upon the name of Yahweh. Somebody said, well, he didn't know the name of the Father, the Most High's name, until Moses came. And the Most High's name was spoken until Moshe came on the scene, until Moses came on the scene. Not true. Here it says, Abraham called on the name of Yahweh. It says, there he built an altar and called upon the name. He didn't call upon the character. He didn't call upon the authority. He didn't call upon the representation of who the Most High is, but he called upon the name. How you call upon a person's name? You just call on the character. I call upon the character of the Creator. I call upon the authority of the Creator. He said, Yahweh. He knew the name. He didn't call on the Lord. He said, Yahweh. He called upon the name of Yahweh. Abraham journeyed, going still towards the south. Right? So now, Most High promised him the land of Canaan. All right. Now, I'm going to skip forward because we're going somewhere. We're trying to get to who these African Americans, so-called African Americans are. All right. Now, skip forward. We're going to skip forward because there's a lot of information there. Abraham was a mighty man, and he went to war and battle and rescued his nephew Lot. Now we're going to go forward. After he came from the battle, this is where the Most High met him and gave him a prophecy, right? Chapter 15, verse 1. And after these things, the word of Yah came to Abram. Word of Yahweh came to Abram in vision, saying, fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. And Abram said to Yahweh, Elohim, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless, and the steward of my house is Eleazar of Damascus? And Abram said, behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is my heir. Right? Verse 4. And behold, the word of Yahweh came unto him, saying, this shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thy own bowels shall be thine heir. Right? Now, And verse 5, he brought forth him abroad and said, look now towards heaven and tell the stars if thou be numbered them. And he said unto him, so shall thy seed be. Right? That's future prophecy that Abraham will be the father of many nations, not just only the nation of Israel, but other nations that will come under the nation of his seed. Okay? Jumping the gun. And he believed Yah. Why? And he counted it to him for righteousness. He said unto him, I am Yahweh that brought you out of Ur of the Chaldees to give thee this land to inherit it. So he promised him the land of Canaan to inherit it, right? He said, Yah Elohim, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said unto him, take me a heifer of 3 years old, and a she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. He took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another, but the birds divided he not. Watch this now. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. Now, here's prophecy, right? When the carcasses died, or carcasses was laid, the birds came down. This is a foreshadow of something that he saw in the future. The fowls came upon the carcasses that was dying, that was dead. And Abram drove them away. Okay? That's a foreshadow. Now you take that where you want to go with it. Okay? Verse 12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. So this is where you're getting the revelation now what he saw, right? And he said unto Abram, know of surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years, right? And also that nation whom thou shalt serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. Now, take that where you want to go with it. This was a prophecy to Abraham. Okay. This verse doesn't specifically say that this is talking about Egypt, although I believe it was. But this prophecy also, I believe, was talking about the seed or the descendants of Abraham's seed in the captive lands. Okay. Simplicity now. Because we didn't read here where it said that it was Egypt, but we read where it said that they shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs. Okay. Now we know for a fact that the Israelite nation went into Egypt, which was a land that was not theirs, and sojourned there for 400 years. We also know that according to history, Israel was scattered from their land into a land of their captivity, right? Take that where you want to go with it. Okay. Now, and he said, the nation whom you shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance, and thou shalt go to thy father in peace, and thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the 4th generation they shall come hither again, for iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. Now, from reading that, we can say that that is talking about Egypt. Okay. And it came to pass that when the sun went down, it was dark. Behold, smoking a furnace and burning a lamp was passed between those pieces. Right? And the same day, verse 18, Yahweh made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land from the river of Egypt, right, unto the great river of the Euphrates. The Canaanites, the the Kenites, the Kenizzites, and the Cadmonites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Rephaims, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Girgasites, and the Jebusites. So he said, the land that I promised you, all these people who came from Canaan, who are dark races of people, live in this land that I promised to you. Right? Now, I got to show you, because I got a whole lot I can put in this particular dissertation, but I'm going to skip that. Maybe we'll save that for another session, because I want to go to the points, right? We can go through, we can show you Hagar and Ishmael and how Abram had a son by an Egyptian from the dark races of people. We're not going to do that though, okay? We can go on and show you how that Yosef came into existence after Abraham begot Isaac or Isaac, and Isaac begat Jacob, or the world calls Jacob, who begat Yosef, who the world calls Joseph, who had a wife who was an Egyptian from the dark races of people, who had two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. They were part Hebrew and part Hamite Egyptian. We're not going to tell you that, okay? We're going to skip past all of that, right? Now, so we're going to skip past all of that, and we're going to take you to, we're going to skip past the fact that Moses came on the scene, and how he saw the burning bush, and how that he left and he he was raised as an Egyptian, knowing that he was an Egyptian according to the scriptures, and he was raised by his mother in the land of Egypt as the Pharaoh of daughter's wife, and she knew he was a Hebrew, right? But he looked like the Egyptian. We're not going to tell you that. But he was raised as an Egyptian and passed for the Egyptian. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about how that Moshe fled from the Pharaoh and went to the land of Midian, where he took a wife named Zipporah, and where they thought he was an Egyptian because the Egyptians were dark races of people. And here is Moses in the land of Midian. They didn't know who he was, but they thought he was an Egyptian, who Zondervan said was the father of the dark races of people. So Moshe, or the world calls Moses, looked like the Egyptian people. We're not going to tell you that though. So we're going to skip past all of that. We're going to skip past all of Israel being in Egypt for 400 years and serving in servitude. We're going to skip past all that. We're going to take you to where now Israel fled out of Egypt, was driven out of Egypt into the wilderness, and the Most High enabled them to go into the promised land after the death of the prophet Moshe or Moses.